Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the ADV Cannonball Rally Rider Roundtable. 32 hours and 32 minutes from New York to California is an insane pace, but our guest today actually pulled it off. Back in April 2024, he set the current transcontinental pavement record, averaging over 86 miles per hour and dealing with everything from lost brakes to mid-route weather detours. I know Aaron interviewed him on the podcast well over a year ago, but a lot has happened since then, so I thought it was time to pull him back in again. He is shifting gears entirely and jumping into the dirt, gravel, and navigation challenges of the ADV Cannonball. We have a lot to catch up on, so let's welcome the current record holder and our newest rally competitor, Bo Ernest. Great to have you on the roundtable, man. Let's talk to Bo about going from a cannonball run to a cannonball rally. Welcome to the Rider Roundtable, Bo.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Awesome. Bo, I got to admit, I'm a little awestruck right now. I'm a bit of a fanboy. I grew up with the Cannonball Run movies, and I have followed all the records and VinWiki and everything else for as long as I can remember. And for many years, going for a record attempt was something that I'd wanted to do, especially during the COVID era. And I just simply didn't get off my ass and do it. So I thought maybe what we could do is start with, what was your motivation? Like, how did you get to that point where you're like, yeah, this is super cool, and I'm just going to do it?
It basically boils down to, fuck it, we're all going to die. Let's do this. Let's do this fun stuff and this hard stuff before I get too old and have issues trying to do all this stuff. I don't want to be 65, 70 looking back on life and regret not going after something that I wanted to try or do.
Okay. Had you been following the records and everything else pretty closely? Is that how it got on your radar even?
I've been following it off and on for, I don't know, the previous 10 years. And when I saw Alex had broke it right there around the COVID time, that's when I really started looking into it a little more and started trying to put together some type of little game plan to see what I could do and how I could challenge myself mentally, physically, and mechanically.
Okay. Yeah, that makes total sense. So let's back up even further. But so before you even decided you were going for the record attempt, what's your background with bikes? Like, how long have you been riding? What were you riding? Things like that.
Grew up, I skipped over dirt bikes, went straight to a clapped out 51 panhead when I was right around 16, 17, and bounced around jobs for a while and wound up becoming a master Harley tech for almost 14 years. And got a little burnt out with it and switched careers, went to the railroad, and just kept building up, working on bikes on the side, buying and flipping old Harleys and old Cadillacs.
That's cool. Had you done any long distance riding prior to this, or were you just going in cold?
I wouldn't consider what I had done previously long distance riding, but I guess you could in an extent. We would leave the panhandle of Florida on rigid motorcycles and ride out to California in 2 days, up to Washington, and come all the way back to Florida in 3 days, type of thing. That was my background on long distance riding before I really tried this record attempt.
And so was that was on Harleys, right?
Yes, sir. That was on old rigid shovel heads and pan heads and Evos.
Your back's going to be hating you in a few years.
It already does, brother.
No, that's cool. Have you ever done any like the iron butt stuff, like the structured iron butts, or did you just like, screw it, I'm just riding for me?
Never followed the iron butt stuff too much because of the rules and regulations.
Yeah, they're a little too intense sometimes, I think.
I just want to ride hard, ride fast, split lanes, and let's roll. And with what I've always seen through the iron, but there's too many stipulations, speed, time, yada yada yada. The
Yeah,
most I think I had done previously in one day was right around 2,100 miles on a jockey shift rigid shovel head.
that's pretty amazing for especially for that bike.
Oh yeah,
Um,
running about 85, 90 the entire time.
yeah, that's awesome. I think the longest that I went was I was racing some storms and I got about 1,600 miles in, and I was just like, yeah, I'm ready
It's
for a
running.
pillow. So I was wiped out, and I think what bike was I? I was on an old GS at the time.
Oh,
When I
nice.
was
Hey, you had a
when I was
windshield
doing
at
it.
least.
Yeah, I did have a windshield. That is very true, and I was a little more upright, so
All
I could
right.
like stand up on the pegs and stretch and do whatever I wanted to do. But all right, so let's go into that record attempt a little bit. So you decide you're going to do it. You're like, fuck it, let's go. Which I love that attitude, by the way. Um, that's fantastic. So you pick the FJR platform, and when I saw that, I was just like, yeah, absolutely, positively makes sense, right? It's proven track record. It's Yamaha reliability. The riding position is sporty yet but relaxed enough that you're going to be able to handle it for 32 hours and 32 minutes. Um, is that pretty much why you did it?
Um, I, I'd never even rode a Yamaha prior to going to look at that FJR, honestly. Um,
Really?
yeah, never been on one. And I picked it for the ride position. The miles per gallons that it could get over the Kawasaki. The top
Yeah.
speed was pretty decent, and it was cheap.
That is always a motivator, isn't it?
Oh,
Especially
oh
when.
man, it ain't nothing funny about the money, honey. When it comes down to running for yourself,
So what else were you looking at? Were you looking at like a concourse or
I was
what other
looking at a
bikes?
concourse, or for a Versailles. I think that's how you say it.
Okay.
Um, hell, I was looking at a Triumph 1200 just because of the riding platform,
Yeah.
and this FGR stumbled up onto my radar off Marketplace, and she was cheap.
Yeah. Well, hey man, little did that guy know what was going to end up happening to his bike after you got a hold of it,
Oh,
right?
he was not happy when he realized I was about to abuse his baby.
Well, then he should have held on to it if it mattered to him.
Yeah, if you don't want someone like me buying your stuff, don't put it on Marketplace.
Yeah, exactly. At least you could tell the guy, "Hey man, your bike's in the record books now." So
Yes, sir.
all right. So I know that Aaron had talked to you about all the different modifications and stuff you had done to that bike. How long did that take you to sort out what you wanted to actually do? Because, like, I'm a research nerd. And, like, so for me, figuring out laser jammers and night vision and all that stuff, um, I would almost probably get into analysis paralysis, which is just my personal hang up. But did
Yeah.
you just kind of look for recommendations from people and say, hey, best of breed, this is what I'm doing?
In the Cannonball Facebook group, there's several very knowledgeable guys that always like to play with the red architectures, the jammers. They've been in this Cannonball setup for many days, many years, and I always see them post about what works for them, what didn't work for them,
Hmm.
and I just kind of base things off what I would read and see in the group per se.
Yeah.
And when it came down to purchasing, I'd turn around, did everything I could to reach out to these companies, and I got lucky on a few, telling them what I was wanting to do,
Yeah.
and if it wasn't given to me, it was discounted heavily.
That's amazing that you were able to get that.
Especially coming from somebody with no quote unquote background. They just
Right, right.
told us, "Holy shit, we can use our anti-cop stuff for someone on a bike doing a run. Let's put them to work."
Yeah, I guess that's probably. I was thinking about it. And I was thinking, a lot of companies would freak out about that. And they're like, no, no, you're doing something illegal. We don't want to be associated with that. But at the same time, the companies that you're talking to are all people that are going to be like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is exactly what we build our products for.
Oh yeah, like adaptive um radar. They're the ones who
Yeah.
hooked me up with the laser jammers, and they're like, that's rad. Let's do this shit.
Yeah. That's very cool. Yeah. So, all right. So let's say you got the bike set up now. You had a monster tank on the back. How many gallons was it? 13 or something like
It,
that?
it, it would hold 13 gallons, and it initially started off as a 15-gallon fuel cell.
Okay, why'd you downsize it? Weight?
Downsizing was due to heavily baffling the hell out of it,
Ah,
mainly
that makes
because
sense. You
with
can't have all that liquid flopping around when it's up so high.
yeah, especially with that top end center of gravity.
Yeah.
When I first put it on there at 15 gallons, tank was about half full. You
Hmm.
couldn't you couldn't make a left hand turn at the red light without you wanting to end up on the pavement.
Yeah. So once you had it all baffled, did it seem okay? Because there's obviously this iconic picture you standing with the bike, and I've got a copy of that picture, and I know that Aaron has a copy of that picture, but I look at how high that damn tank is on there. Did that make you nervous? That's a lot of weight up high from a center of gravity
Oh god,
perspective.
yeah, it really did. And but with the baffling, believe it or not, putting all that heavy that foam in there,
Hmm.
it really took a good portion of that slosh out of it. And that's why I tried to baffle it as much as I could because how high it was in the air. Going smaller with the fuel cell just made less sense because of how long it takes to do a fuel stop. Because
Yeah,
in reality, every time you stop for fuel, you're losing not just the time you stop, but almost 15 minutes of coverage on the highway.
yeah,
And then going bigger, it just wasn't feasible to go any bigger.
no. If I remember right, you only ended up having to do like 5 stops the entire
Yes, sir.
length,
I was
right?
stopped 5 times for a total of 50 minutes, just 50 and a half minutes.
Man, that's insane.
The reason why it would take so long is because in my fault, I should have cut that top of the tank and moved the fill neck
Yeah,
over to the right hand side, because when you pull up to the gas station, there's no way in hell you're getting that bike off the center stand with 13 gallons of fuel in the back and fully loaded without dropping the thing probably.
yeah.
So filling it up, you could only fill that tank half, 3/4 of the tank, and then you'd have to stand or sit on the bike upright and spin around and hold that nozzle while it topped off.
Oh, thank God you're a little bit flexible, huh?
Uh, Not that fourth, fifth stop. I don't know how flexible I was.
Oh, that's true. Sitting in the same riding position for 30 hours. Oh my
Oh my
God.
goodness. I will
Oh my
say
God.
this: the three heavy modific, well, I guess four, for rider comfort. What made that trip possible was that Russell Daylong seat.
They make
Um,
amazing seats, man.
oh
Those
my
things are so
gosh,
great.
that thing was tits, man. And getting rid of the floorboards or foot pegs and just making a set of homemade floorboards,
Oh
that
yeah.
takes so much pressure off the bottom of your foot, your knee, and your hip.
Yeah, that's smart. That's
Um,
super smart.
I did a 2 inch up, 1 inch back risers, so it
Hmm.
brought the bars closer to me instead of having that FGR. Even though it's an upright riding, you're still kind of linked forward for
Yeah,
an
it's got some
aggressive.
reach to it still.
It
It's a long
does,
bike.
and then
Yeah.
it's got a power windshield, and I wound up going with a 22-inch windshield.
Hmm.
So with it fully up, riding down the road at 110, one-handed, I could lift my helmet without being beat with wind eat beef jerky, put a dip of snuff in, drink some water, and keep on going.
Now you had bottled drinks too, like you were carrying a big bunch of big 40 ounces or something with you
Yes, sir.
too,
I
weren't
had
you?
2 40-ounce bottles with me, and the
And
goal
how are you
was
drinking
that
those?
do what?
How are you drinking those?
That windshield, baby.
It
I
was
could
that
drink
good, huh?
that thing was that good. I could hear my radar detector going off down the highway at 130 with my helmet on because of that windshield.
Oh, wow. That's
And it's just a standard Valentine 1 Gen 2.
yeah. Yeah, because when I was reading about the water bottles, I was like, "Man, I'm surprised you didn't go with, like, a hydration bladder or something like that so that you could use the hose and just throw it up underneath his helmet." Because, like,
I
when I'm
thought
doing long rides, that's kinda what I do. I was having a hard
and
time picturing you hauling ass and drinking at the same time.
yep. The hydration Camelback system I played around with quite a bit honestly, but since the way I had the bike set up and then that tank bag, there really wasn't a whole lot of extra room, and I did
Yeah.
not want to mount a like a Yeti jug or something like that. What you see
No.
all the long distance guys doing,
Right.
and there really just wasn't a whole lot of space, and it was so much easier just to throw a couple bottles of water on there, and then when
Yeah.
I stopped for fuel, the guys that would help me would top my water off, type of thing.
Mhm. Did you look at all into, like, for fuel capacity instead of having it up high, like, taking the pannier mounts and fabricating something up so that you could have it down lower, like, where the panniers were?
Yeah, I looked into doing that quite a bit, and the fabrication behind it was just honestly a
Yeah.
pain in the ass off that bike. The way
Okay.
everything would mount.
Okay. Yeah, they've got a bit of a funky subframe, and then you've got the plastic bodywork around it, so trying to get the mount points and then getting it to actually support that kind of weight, which was
Oh yeah,
probably gonna
and
be
then on
pretty
the
hard.
right side you got the exhaust. So
Yeah.
in theory, you don't want 8, 5, 6, 7 gallons just on the left hand side of the bike. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not out here running backwards NASCAR.
That's true. All right. So let's move on into the record attempt. So you decide that you're going to go for the record. You're talking to the guys in the group. You're probably getting coached by the folks that have done this before and stuff like that. I know it's a super collaborative group, right? The whole community is just awesome. Um, what does it take to make it official? Like, did you have people that watched you leave the Red Ball Garage and saw you come into the Portofino and, you had I would love to be Rabbit sometime, right? Just get out ahead of a record attempt and play Rabbit for a while to help clear cops. Did you
Yeah.
have people doing that for you end to end to make sure that it was truly official, or how did you approach that?
Make that was probably one of my biggest questions going about it because we've all heard of Fred Ashmore,
Oh yeah.
and no one wants to have that or be associated in that way. So reaching out to get someone in New York City to watch me take off for
Hmm.
verification, be at the Portofino, those two things were very paramount. And then there's an app called Joiner that we use that is a live tracking app. So you can see your location, your speed, group chat, the whole 9 yards with it.
Hmm.
So I reached out to get folks at beginning, in the end, and then the middle was looking for folks to get out there and run point for me. And having all of that at one time allows everything to be very concrete, along with taking pictures with the phone along the way.
Yeah.
As much provenance that you can bring to the table. Now, especially if you're an outsider who doesn't know about the group, doesn't know anybody, is not able to reach out to me or other people like that.
Hmm.
If they wanted to go make a run today, they're going to have more than just a Rever app activity because
Right.
that can be manipulated. You
Oh
need
yeah.
you need a lot to go with it. The age of technology's gotten to the point where it's too easy to fucking cheat. And
Yeah.
this is more or less a gentleman's game.
Yeah.
with breaking as many rules as possible safely.
I mean, to your point, right? Just having a GPX track that says that I started recording when I left and I turned it off when I got there doesn't work, right? People have physically got to put eyes on you because I could generate a GPX file that shows that I did it in 29 hours and 18 minutes and
Yep.
just here's your file. There's no way of authenticating that stuff without other stuff along the way. So I was just curious. So that's cool that people were willing to show up on both ends and in between, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
interesting that you found the time to take pictures along the way too. Did you have cameras on the bike?
I had a Insta360 that I had hooked up to run and set to record a continuous loop with a 1 terabyte SD card.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's cool.
yeah, but my damn charging cable on it messed up. So I only got recorded like to Missouri.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Dude, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Oh man,
That
that
would
that, that hurts.
that would have been one for the ages.
You know?
Ah. All right. So you take off, you head out. Did you get any rest beforehand? Like I know when I travel, I never sleep well the night before. So were you able to get any rest at all before you took off out of there?
Man, that was a hard thing to do because I'm not one to sleep in and or to sleep a whole lot. So the
Right.
way the way I tried to do it was I tried to exhaust the ever living shit out of myself on the way up there. So stuck the bike in the bed of the truck and refused to sleep for the 21-hour drive. Stayed up all around New York on Thursday and stayed up as late as I could Thursday night, which only ended up being like 9, 10 p.m. New York time. And
Yeah.
then every time I'd wake up Friday, I would just put the blanket right back over my head and try to go right back to sleep. And
Man.
finally woke up and started moving around 7:30, 8 o'clock, New York time.
Did you just leave your truck up there or did somebody drive it back for you?
I had a buddy of mine come up with me to New York,
Okay.
and he was going to be my first fuel stop helper. And he got he kind of got screwed by the traffic in my dually trying to leave New York. And by the time I got on the road and after he'd been on, I I I overpassed his ass way too fast for him to help at a fuel stop.
That's awesome.
So I knew he was up ahead of me off close somewhere in Pennsylvania. I forget where it was at. And
Yeah.
I still had about another 120 miles left on the tank. And
Yeah.
I just had him pull over at a rest area, and I zipped right into it. Never got off the bike. Um, he had 5 gallons of gas in the back of the truck. We topped off what little bit he could into my fuel cell,
Right.
and filled my water up. And that was maybe 2 minutes, and I was going again.
Yep. Got to get her done. You can't be waiting around for him.
Oh God,
Yeah,
no!
that is awesome.
Yeah, my
So
goal on all the spotters was to knock the damn dust off their shit.
as it should be. That's what it's going
Sure.
to take, right? That's what it's going to take. So now you're hauling ass. You're headed cross country. You see the weather coming in and you ended up switching your route, right? Had you had like a plan A, plan B, plan C type of thing already set up? Or were you having to do like real-time decisions to decide what route you were going to go?
No, so much on the real time decision between the northern route and the southern route.
Yeah.
But before I had even left the red ball, I knew after looking at the weather through Colorado, and about 2 hours prior to me, a group of guys was doing a rental cannonball run, and they chose the northern route. And I could hear about the shit that they were facing already. I'm like, nah, I'll stick to the south.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when did you first start feeling it? Like you're like, all right, now I'm starting to get tired. How
Um,
far in were you?
I don't know if it was a point of tired because it really wasn't so bad because with the adrenaline going and constantly having to move and shift and go down the highway, I don't really feel like I got tired until right there in California. But what took the most out of me was losing that damn intercom, that Cardo, and that was detrimental for me because I lost all my music, the way to communicate.
Oh,
The only thing I could do was look up and text while going down the highway.
man, I don't even remember that part of the story. What happened to the Cardo?
So I was in Oklahoma City doing my fuel stop and pulled over and my headset's about to die. I'm trying to get it to charge while going down the road. I'm like, shit, this ain't working. So I handed it off to my buddy while I was filling up. He just turns and looks at me just distraught. He's like, man, your charging port fell out of your fucking Cardo. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And sitting there looking at it, he's like, man, I'll give you my helmet. What size are you? I'm like, large. He's like, ah, man, I wear medium. I'm
Uh,
like, well, I guess this is gonna suck.
oh no.
And the three songs I think you've heard about that before that got stuck in my head was that AC/DC's Hell's Bells,
Yeah.
the JG Wentworth jingle, and Baby Fucking Shark, baby.
So, all right. So, quick side story, real quick. So, in the Cannonball, and we'll talk about this more later. There's always a slap day, right? So, there's a section of it where you just got to go, and it is haul ass as long as you can, get across from Hotel A to Hotel B. And last year we had that, and we have that again this year. Just parts of the Midwest, it's just not fun off road. So
Oh, yeah, that's boring.
we just move through it, right? And I created a playlist for that slab day that is just all high powered, like like I'm a Gen X kid, right? So like it's
Yep.
all my high power rock stuff. So my Hell's Bells is in there, my Thunderstruck is in there, like all that stuff is in there. So I'm gonna share it with people on the writers group if anybody wants to hear it. It's a little bit eclectic. There's a little bit of everything, but it's all like music that keeps me pumped. So
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Losing that is really a crash because then you're alone with your thoughts the entire time and you're just hauling ass and it's like,
Yep.
oh, okay, well,
Alone
less
with
to
my
think about now.
thoughts, hauling ass, and trying to link up with my spotters for them to be able to do their job. It's like,
Yes.
so it would get to the point where I'd catch the next spotter, and all I could do was leave my phone up and for them to text me cop, debris, car type of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. So you had your phone mounted on your handlebars and you could at least see the text messages coming
Yes,
in.
sir.
And did your buddy who had your Ricardo, was he letting everybody know what's going on so that they knew they had to text you? Did
Oh
he?
yeah, he put it out in the group, and and going back reading it like the following day, you could just see all the sad faces, the what the fucks, all the oh my gosh,
Yeah.
poor Bo. And then when they started hearing my thoughts of the song choices, they really started feeling bad for me because they knew I was getting ready to run that damn bike off a cliff in Arizona.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah. And you know what's funny is like that's really surprising about Cardos because I ran Senna for a long time early on. And then I just had bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. And I switched to Cardo and they've been bulletproof for me. So
So
here,
my cardo right now is bulletproof, but there's a difference between riding and leaving your charging cable connected to your cardo.
you just vibrated it out, didn't you?
Yep. So
Yeah.
the kicker is like with the cardo, I mean, good luck finding that with your helmet on with two hands. Good luck finding that with one hand while going down the road. So
Right.
I just left the charging cable in and then ran it down into my jacket and just kind of curled it up. So when my car would be like low battery, I would reach up, unplug my phone or something, and then plug my cardo in.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I know another guy that's done some high speed stuff, and what he ended up doing so he could keep his cardo charged is he actually used some of that 100-mile-an-hour tape and taped it to the side of his helmet, and then he had a power bank inside of his jacket, and so
Oh
he just
man.
ran the cable up. So the cable wasn't flapping by his helmet, and then he just had like a inch and a half of loose cable that went into the cardo.
Yeah,
But
that was poor plan on my part. I didn't think about the vibration or the wind off of that
no,
cable, but who thinks about that and who knows to think about that
no,
until
no, no.
until
I
someone
don't
says
blame you.
something.
Yeah, my buddy probably actually learned it from your experience that he
Yep.
needed to get that done. Um, all right, so you're hauling butt. You didn't really get tired until California, which is amazing. Um, like you're probably pacing yourself on food and drink, so you get to limit bathroom stops and stuff like that because there's a light at the end of the tunnel once you get to the finish line. Um, so the first year of the Cannonball Rally ended at the Portofino Hotel too.
Mhm.
And there's sections of that where you're zigzagging through town and stuff like that. As people knew that you were coming back towards the end there, did you feel like you already had the record? Did you know it all? Were you
I
tracking all that, or were you just hyper focused on just getting there?
I had, in my, tank bag in that little clear visor on top, um,
Yeah.
I took all of my math and what it would take to beat the record of the time, and so I
Hmm.
broke it down per state on my, what time I had to hit. And so I was starting to cut it pretty close right there at the end. And you're always one flat tire, one cop, one red light, one wreck, always away from blowing that 30, 40 minute, 50-minute lead. And right there at the end, I was like, man, I still can get pulled over, still can get arrested, still can have an issue. But at the same time, it's like, let's roll, baby. I mean,
Yeah.
ran all the red lights right there at the end.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't have time to be thinking about the what ifs, right?
Nope.
Your focus is on that finish line.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so speaking of cops, did you have any close calls?
I think the biggest one I had was outside of or right there coming into Albuquerque off of the interstate. As you come in, you make this right hand curve, and you're at you're in all that rock right there, and
Hmm.
nothing is going off. My lasers ain't going off. My radar detector, nothing's on Waze, nothing's on the chat, and there's a state trooper hiding behind that rock. And as soon as I cleared it, where I could just see him, everything just lit up like crazy while I was doing 120. And he went to pull out in the highway like he was going for the last donut on sale at the shop, and I just dropped a gear at 120 and just clipped it on up to about 160, 170, 165. I think is the top speed I could get.
He just quit. He just gave up.
He didn't have a chance, mainly because it was in the evening and traffic was fairly. I wouldn't call it light or heavy, but it was not fun to run that fast through that town with that bike.
No, no. I would say you're also very lucky that this didn't happen in a more metropolitan area. Like I know Albuquerque, I know it well. Um, One thing about speeding and then trying to outrace the cops is you can't outrace their radio, right? But
Nope.
where you were at in New Mexico, they don't have a huge police force. They can't just mobilize a helicopter in seconds. Like you had an opportunity to get the hell out of there and
Oh
then
yeah.
be out in the middle of nowhere again real fast. So that's awesome that it wasn't someplace that was a bigger town.
Oh, most definitely. Then with the
Yeah.
bigger towns, it's not just the cops you worry about. It's all Cindy Lou Who's
Yeah.
missing their exit.
Yeah. God, I can't imagine that. Just dealing with the other drivers on the road too who
Oh my
aren't paying
goodness. The amount
attention.
of
Just
people I saw eating cereal going down the interstate in a bowl was mind numbing.
cereal. I was waiting for the phones.
Oh, the phones
Cereal of all
were
things.
bad, but the cereal I think was the worstest.
Man, I think the worst I've seen was a woman driving with her knees putting on mascara in the mirror. So her eyes weren't even on the road because of having to do that. But cereal, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
I remember I'm making a run. We were out and then Oregon, I think. And
Yeah.
we went to go pass an old F-150 pickup truck with Grandpa John driving, and he had a full state map laid out, covering his steering wheel and part of his dash, trying to figure out where the hell he was while going down the highway.
Oh, God. All right. So you're getting into LA. You know you're close. Um, you get to the Portofino. What happens then?
Just a sigh of relief more than anything, because I knew right there as pulling in that I had it, but
Yeah.
nothing really ever clicked right then, just because of the adrenaline still running, the lack of sleep. It was, oh man, I tell you what, it felt so damn good there to get off that bike and stretch properly.
Ugh, yeah. I can only imagine. That is so. How much did you end up beating the record by?
Um, just over 30 minutes. Doesn't sound
That's
like a lot,
impressive.
but that's a
No, it's
lot.
a lot. It's a lot. I totally understand. That's amazing. Um, especially when was the last record? It was during COVID, wasn't it?
Right there at it, right
Yeah,
there at the
because
end of it. So it wasn't like during the height of COVID, like with the car run, but it was right there
yeah,
towards the. I can't remember if it was the beginning or the end. COVID is just kind of one of those gray areas in time that you don't really know what the hell happened.
it's all a
Uh,
blur.
it, but it was a little bit easier on for Mr. Alex to make that run,
Yeah,
I do believe.
yeah, yeah.
But man,
Well,
props to Alex for it too. He did a fantastic
uh,
job by beating the previous record.
man, I'll tell you what. Whether you make the record or not, just the attempt is a feat in itself. Like,
Everybody likes to talk a big game. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm going to make a run. I'm going to do this."
uh,
Put your tires on the pavement, baby. Let's do it.
yeah, get her done. I totally understand. Right? That's amazing. Like anybody who makes that attempt, I think is baller. That's just so cool.
Yep, there was just an attempt about a month and a half ago, and
Mhm,
the guy just never gave up, kept pushing through it hard. He
mhm.
finished the run, but he didn't come close to time, but he never gave up. So right there in that self is a feat on its own.
Yeah. So since then, what's happened? How have things changed for you since you broke the record?
I don't know how much I can say has changed. I'm still into the bikes. It's kind of surreal to get to certain places when we get to talking and they see my tattoo or they hear my name on off the Facebook or YouTube's or Google searches. It's
Mhm.
pretty surreal and humbling to talk to folks that are enthusiastic about it as well. Um,
Yeah.
I love it, honestly. I love to talk about it and meet the folks and just have a good old time with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get it, right? That's that I wasn't kidding when I said that I was a bit of a fanboy on this stuff. I think it's super cool that you were able to pull that off. It's something that I always pay attention to and whatever. All right. So it hasn't really changed for you, but you've definitely gotten the recognition um that you very much deserve. All right. So
It's helped
then
with some ambassador style things with some companies to continue getting new cool gear and being able to support small businesses. I think that's been, I guess you can say that's probably what's changed. Being
okay.
able to help the businesses out too because they like to associate with cool shit.
Yeah. Um, so then I know Aaron had you on the show in I think it was March of 2025. Um, and you had a good talk with him. And then he texted me a while later and he's like, dude, Bo just signed up for the rally. I don't even think he knew that it was coming.
No, he didn't.
All
He
right.
had no clue because I wanted to do the rally in 25, but there's just so much happening at that moment in my life, moving and bikes and vacationing with my kids and stuff like that. I just didn't have the time to take off or the time to get a motorcycle to set up for it. And
Yeah.
when I saw um, Aaron had posted about the 26th rally, I kept creeping a little bit and looking at it, and I was like, you know what, screw it. Gone ahead and signed up, and it wasn't 5 minutes, and Aaron called me. He's like, "No way, dude!" I'm like, "I'm coming."
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, "I'm
Yeah,
coming
it's gonna
hard,
be
dude. So
awesome.
y'all better keep that right hand pegged."
So it is a great time, man. Like, the folks that sign up for this rally are all like-minded folks, right? They're gonna push hard. They're gonna do what they need to do to be able to be winners in this, right? There's basically there's two classes of folks that come out and do this. There are the guys that want first to finish first and win it. And then you got the guys that are like, I just want the camaraderie. I want to meet new people that are into doing cool shit like this. And I don't care about winning. I'm going to hang out and drink beers with the boys in the hotel at night, and we're going to swap stories about this amazing route that he puts together. So there's like two categories of folks basically that show up for this thing. Um, how, how are you thinking about it? Right. So you mentioned earlier that you skipped and went straight to road bikes. There's a significant amount of off-road sections in the Western US. Are you getting out there and practicing some dirt riding or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I've gotten into the adventure riding over the past 4 or 5 years, I guess you could say, and
Yeah.
I really enjoy the hell out of it on a bike. And that definitely is a learning curve, especially
Mhm.
not coming from the dirt bike world or stuff growing up with it. Because I spent my entire life on the street, and it's been, like I said, it's been a learning curve, but I've I've been getting faster and faster and faster, doing things crazier and heavier, and I just keep pushing myself because what's the worst that can happen? Break a leg? Shit will heal. We'll do it again in 6 weeks.
Well, worst thing that can happen is with breaking a leg. We got Iron Man Mark that did that last year, and he still finished the rally, like the last 3 days of it, with his leg in a boot.
Very
So
nice.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
he still
I
got her
saw
done.
some of those pictures, and hats off to that feller.
Dude, that guy's got balls the size of basketballs. Like, I honestly don't know. He's just lucky it wasn't his left one, because if it was his left one, that would have taken him out, because there would have been
Oh
no way
man,
he would be able to
that's just when
shift.
you get a rat shit strap and you pull up like as a kid on a 3 wheeler and you can't reach the peg.
Oh,
Upshift, upshift.
see, I love that ingenuity. That's cool. Right, that he still would have been able to get it done.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So, have you reviewed the route? Have you been paying attention to what happens in what states and stuff like that?
Yes, I've been looking at the route, turning around trying to Google what I could on the street maps when it gets to the off road. I've been doing the aerial lookings, checking things out, looking at the stuff that y'all are posting in the group is
Hmm.
helpful to get an idea because some of these sections in areas and parts of the western side, I've never seen rocks or mountains that way riding on a motorcycle. So I'm looking forward to it. And I know I'm going to drop the hell out of this bike and beat it up several times, but let's do it.
What are you riding?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh no! But you're not even going to tell me. I'm not looking for mods. What about base platform? A
Oh,
brand. Let's start a brand.
I got two. I'm going back and forth with.
Okay.
One is a Dirtster Harley that I've
Okay.
built. That's got a Triumph 1200 front end on it with 16-inch shocks on the back and dirt tires. That man, that thing's a beast. And then I got a 2014 BMW 1200.
All right.
So
All right.
going back and forth between which two I want to do.
What's the fuel capacity on that first bike? How big a tank you got on that thing?
6 gallon on the front with an additional 5 on the back.
Oh, listen to you.
Yep, and I got it split up between 2.5 on both sides.
You're taking this seriously. Did you see the post that I made about using the fuel
Those Moscow
bladders as?
bags.
Yeah.
That man, you got some balls to fucking steal, brother.
Yeah, I just wish I was a better rider. No, so my background is the same as yours, right? So I came off of street bikes and, I did track days and all this fun stuff and I absolutely love that. But I got sick and tired of going, that road looks cool. Where's it go? And I'm like, I can't go because I don't have a bike for gravel and rock and stuff like that. And eventually that's when I started buying ADV bikes and got almost completely out of street bikes, or 100% street bikes, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but
I mean,
yeah,
I'd still take my Harley down that dirt road to see where it went.
I'd go for a little while, but I'm running on sport bikes with
Oh
basically
yeah.
soft slicks on them. It's not,
Yeah, that's not fun.
not very conducive, but to my own survival.
Right.
But yeah, once I got into it, I was hooked too, man. Like been up to Alaska a couple times. I've pretty much ridden in every state there is, including Hawaii.
Oh
So
man,
yeah,
jealous.
it's so much fun, isn't it?
Oh
Um,
yeah. I'd love to
yeah,
make a run up to the Pacific Northwest and then all the way up to Alaska. That's on my bucket list.
dude, 2027.
I'm
The
looking at it, but let's get through 26 first.
All right, you make it through 26 and you decide to do 27. I will head north with you because I spent 20 years in Seattle, and those are my roads.
Oh
Like
man.
I know that area really, really well. So if you wanted to go from Portland north, the invitation's there. I'll
Oh
I'll
man,
I'll show
thank you.
you some of my old stomping grounds if you wanted to.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, yeah. I love that area. It's gorgeous. All right. So as far as prep goes, what are you doing? So we'll skip the bike talk. We'll leave it a mystery until you come rolling up to the starting line. But you doing anything else for prep? You're looking at the maps. You're trying to figure out the route and get used to it. Anything else? Remember, this is a points game, right? It's very
Oh yeah.
different. Not
So
everything is high speed.
not everything's high speed, but speed still does play a factor on getting the points
It
to an
does, and
extent.
funny enough, it actually matters even more now
Yeah.
because last year, um, we found a loophole in Aaron's rules, which, it was the first year. Shit happens. People are going to be creative. That's what we do,
Yep.
especially this type of person that's going to go on this type of event. But we figured out you could buzz all the way to the hotel and then double back and go get the points so that there was an opportunity to get first to finish
Yep.
and the extra 25 points and then double back to capture the original points, which I don't think Aaron thought anybody was crazy enough to do.
I don't
But
think that even crossed his mind right off the bat.
I
Uh,
warned him. I warned him. I love Aaron, but I warned his ass. I said, dude, you called it a cannonball. Who do you think is going to sign up for this thing?
oh, we gonna look for it, baby.
Well, this year he took that out. So it's once you hit the hotel, you're no longer eligible for other points, which makes the points significantly more important because then you have to figure out how many of those points do you want, or do you really care about first to finish?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It does.
So
It's definitely going to be um, multiple looks throughout the day to turn around and see how things are standing on how you're going to proceed to the next.
yeah. And you got to be tracking the other guys to see
Yep.
what they're doing.
Yeah,
So
that's what I mean. You gotta look at your points. I gotta look at yours. Look at
mhm.
Hunter's, and
Yeah.
then make things adjustments on the fly.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you may have heard it in one of the other previous podcasts, but when I did the interview with Hunter and our boy, Captain Chaos, they had a day where he had to drop out of the mountains to make sure he secured the first to finish. And it was probably the most intense race I've ever watched. And I was watching only their points move on the map.
Oh man.
It was pretty amazing. So yeah, he made that sort of real time decision that he's like, oh, I can't keep collecting these points for now. He's like, I got to drop down so I can get that first to finish to beat this guy that was hauling ass down the interstate for it,
Yep.
and he still beat him.
I love that.
So it's pretty cool, man. That people show up with some pretty interesting and well set up bikes. Um, but yeah, that's gonna be good, and you never know what the weather's gonna be. So
Weather
I hope you
definitely
got
plays
a
a
decent
factor.
variety. What's that?
The weather definitely is going to play the factor in it.
Uh, oh man, it was a huge factor last year because parts that should have been high speed gravel turned into muddy disasters because of how much rain we were getting.
Man.
Um, yeah, so like tire choice comes into play on this. All kinds of things come into play.
Oh, most
Um,
definitely.
yeah, and there'll be times when you're going to want to partner up with somebody because you're not going to want to tackle some of these areas in the dirt specifically by yourself, just to get each other through it, and then it's every man for himself again.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, it's a really great time, and I think you're really going to like the crew that's going to show up for it.
Oh yeah,
But
I'm looking forward to the bangers and the hangers, man.
yeah, so that 2027 route is going to be cool too. That Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon. But
Yeah, I did a quick look at it when Aaron posted it the other day, and it looks pretty interstatey the entire way. It looks like a fun run though, or
yeah,
it looks
it's going to
pretty
be a fun run.
blacktoppy.
It's blacktoppy on. I think he's got a few dirt spots on the East Coast, if I remember right. Then it's a lot of like high speed twisties and stuff like that, and then once you get over to the West Coast, that's where the majority of the dirt sections are, usually on the West Coast,
Yeah,
because it's just more enjoyable out there. But yeah, it'll be a good time.
I'm looking forward to getting out there and doing this. This is something different on a rally aspect side points compared to doing the shit like what I've used to do is just riding for the fun or riding for the speed and just being
Yeah.
balls to the walls. And that's always how I've rode, and that's how I drive. Uh, I've never been what I would consider a sightseer per
Yeah.
se. I've always been a destination rider. No
Hmm.
matter how beautiful it is out there, I'm like, yeah, this is great. Let's get here now.
Yeah.
Let's go fast. Get out of my way, John. Type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I like the ride. I'm not as much about the destination. Um, like, yeah, if I'm going past Mount Rushmore, I'll turn around and take a selfie with my bike and Mount Rushmore in the background. But I'm not taking the tour. I'm swinging my
Right.
leg back over the bike, and I just keep going.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I want to get to where I'm going and then have fun along the way. Get to see some stuff, but I'm not never been big on personally detouring, and that's what this feels like to an extent. And
mhm.
it's definitely a change uh, from my perspective of adrenaline. But man, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, what kind of lessons learned do you think you could take from your record attempt and apply to the rally with that many
Um,
differences?
Charging is a big one. Upgrading from cables to wireless quad locks is probably a big one. Um, and
Hmm.
being prepared with the essentials consistently and trying to learn what to pack and what not to pack is always a hard choice because you never know. But
Hmm.
what I've learned throughout my years is packing something that is multi-use that's capable, like my air pump for inflating tires instead of doing the CO2 cartridges, which I know is faster, but it takes up this amount of space. My air pump is also a light, a cell phone charger, and it will pick up radio stations if need be. So
Yeah.
it's learning to take everything that you need, finding that multi tool that can do it to save the weight and the space on your bike.
What are you thinking about for riding gear?
Riding gear could go. several different ways. You definitely never want to cheap out because you get what you pay for, type of shit.
Right.
But you ain't got. I don't think you have to be the feller who shows up with the $2,000 climb pants. Um, as long as you got something that is durable and will help with the rain or the mist, because the last thing you want to do in any form of destination riding is to have to stop and re-gear or
Yeah.
de-gear, I should say.
Right.
All that takes so much time off of what you're trying to do, and there's going to be days, if I know the weather's good, all you're going to see me in is a pair of Wranglers and cowboy boots, and maybe with the helmet. I mean, it just depends on what state we're in.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's interesting. So I had full Gore-Tex riding gear, and I loved it because when it was hot, I just unzipped it. When I saw we were about to hit the rain, I just zipped it back up. There was no getting on and off the bike to have to get my rain gear on or anything else like that. And if it was going to be cold or I knew that we were going to be at altitude, I'd layer up underneath it.
Yep.
And we should be prepared by that, by the way, right? Because it's September and we're going through some serious altitude.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I wouldn't be
there's
surprised
an
if it snow.
exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we ran into snow at some point. Um, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. We will always get thrown a curveball. But yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to those curveballs, seeing how good everybody's um plans on the fly can change.
Yeah. What about navigation?
Um,
What do you,
I'm running a Garmin XT3 or that Zumo 3.
yeah.
I went
Okay.
with this. I went with the smaller screen just because the way Aaron has it set up for the checkpoints running with an iPhone,
Hmm.
and I'm going to have an iPhone running and then my personal phone running beside it, and then with that Garmin, that way I'm not taking as much data or time or battery off of my phone. I
Yeah.
can just let my Garmin do its thing.
Okay. Yeah, and the offline routing and stuff is important.
Oh yeah.
I think people have all got their favorite apps. I had done a podcast episode with Rick Kloss, and we had talked about different navigation options and like
Mm-hmm.
apps and things like that. And I can't stress enough how important the offline mapping and stuff like that is, and the offline routing engine, because plans are going to change inevitably,
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll run that Garmin, and then probably my app choice will probably be Stegra.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Well, I am looking forward to seeing you there, sir. It'll be first round of beers on me.
Oh, seconds on me. I'm gonna get you drunk so you can't run the next day. I'm
All
a
right.
country from the South, baby. Let's throw down.
All right. I own a bar, so good luck
Oh,
with that. But
hell yeah.
yeah, it'll be a good time, man. All right. I appreciate you taking the time. I had a ton of fun chatting with you. I was a little bummed that you couldn't make it onto our newbie episode, but I'm glad we got it figured out to do a part 2 with you.
Oh yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you.